Virgo, there is something stirring inside you right now. Something you have not felt in a very long time. And if you are being honest with yourself, you already know what it is. It is the quiet awareness that you are ready. Not ready in the way other people talk about it. Not ready with every detail perfectly arranged or every question neatly answered. No, this is a different kind of readiness. This is the kind that settles into your bones before your mind even catches up. It is the kind that does not announce itself with fireworks or grand declarations. It simply arrives like the first warm breeze after a long, unforgiving winter, and suddenly you realize the season has already changed. You, Virgo, are standing in a doorway you have been walking toward for years, maybe decades. And everything about this moment, everything about this energy, is telling you that the time to step through is now. Not tomorrow. Not when things are more convenient. Now. Because the truth is, you have spent so much of your life preparing. You have analyzed, you have organized, you have refined. You have taken apart every detail, examined it from every angle, put it back together, and then done it all over again. And while the rest of the world rushed forward recklessly, you held yourself back. Not because you lacked courage, but because you wanted to be sure. You wanted to do things the right way. But here is what the universe is whispering to you in this very moment. Readiness is not about perfection. It never was. Readiness is about trust. It is about trusting yourself enough to move forward, even when you cannot see the entire staircase. Even when there are still questions you cannot answer. Even when the ground beneath your feet feels uncertain. Growth 1. There is a pattern that many Virgos carry throughout their lives. And it is one that often goes unnoticed because it hides behind something that looks like strength. That pattern is the belief that you must earn the right to grow. Not just work hard, not just be disciplined, but actually prove to yourself and to the world that you deserve the next chapter. You hold yourself to a standard that most people could never even comprehend, and while that standard has shaped you into someone remarkable, it has also kept you in a kind of invisible cage. A cage made not of failure, but of waiting. You wait until the timing feels flawless. You wait until you have read every book, considered every scenario, mapped out every possible outcome. And in that waiting, something precious slips away. The raw, unpolished beauty of simply beginning. Think about the moments in your life that changed everything. Not the ones you planned for, but the ones that surprised you. The ones that arrived when you were not quite ready, when you were still figuring things out, when you were standing in the middle of uncertainty and somehow found the courage to take one step forward anyway. Those moments, Virgo, were not accidents. They were proof that growth does not wait for perfection. Growth waits for willingness. And right now, in this season of your life, the willingness inside you is stronger than it has ever been. You can feel it in the way you think about your future. There is less fear there now. Less hesitation. There is a quiet fire burning in the center of your chest, and it is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be present. It is asking you to show up, exactly as you are, with all your wisdom and all your doubts, and trust that the path will reveal itself as you walk it. This is not the kind of growth that happens overnight. This is the kind that has been building for years, layer by layer, experience by experience, lesson by lesson. And now, finally, you are beginning to see the shape of what you have been building all along. You are beginning to understand that every struggle, every setback, every moment of quiet perseverance was not wasted. It was preparation. And the thing you were preparing for is this moment, this readiness, this willingness to finally let yourself become who you were always meant to be. The universe is not asking you to have all the answers. It is asking you to trust the ones you already carry inside you. Because the truth is, Virgo, you have always known more than you gave yourself credit for. You have always been wiser than you believed, stronger than you admitted, and more capable than you allowed yourself to see. And now, in this powerful season of transformation, all of that inner knowing is rising to the surface. It is time to stop hiding behind preparation and start living inside your purpose. It is time to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating it with every choice you make, every boundary you set, every dream you dare to chase. Readiness too. There is a difference between being prepared and being ready, and Virgo, you are one of the few signs that truly understands this distinction. Being prepared is about logistics. It is about having the right tools, the right information, the right plan. And you have always excelled at that. But being ready is about something deeper. It is about the moment when your heart catches up to your mind. When the fear that used to hold you back transforms into fuel that pushes you forward. When you stop asking yourself if you can do it and start asking yourself what happens if you do not. That is where you are right now. You are standing at the intersection of everything you have learned and everything you have yet to become. And the energy surrounding you in this season is unlike anything you have experienced before. It is not chaotic or overwhelming. It is clear. It is focused. It is precise the way you like things to be. But it is also expansive in a way that might feel unfamiliar. Because this energy is not just about refining what already exists. It is about creating something entirely new. Something that reflects the person you are becoming, not the person you used to be. And that distinction matters more than you might think. Because for so long you have defined yourself by your past. By the roles you played, the responsibilities you carried, the expectations you met. And while all of those things shaped you, they do not define you. Not anymore. The readiness you feel right now is an invitation to redefine yourself on your own terms. To look at your life not through the lens of what has already happened, but through the lens of what is still possible. And Virgo, what is still possible for you is extraordinary. You may not see it all clearly yet, and that is perfectly fine. Clarity comes in stages, and you are in the stage where the fog is just beginning to lift. But even through the haze, you can sense that something significant is unfolding. You can feel it in the way certain relationships are shifting, in the way old habits are falling away without effort, in the way your priorities are rearranging themselves into a pattern that finally makes sense. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. This is the universe responding to the inner work you have been doing for years, the quiet battles you fought when no one was watching, the tears you shed in private, the prayers you whispered in the dark. All of that invisible effort is now becoming visible. And the growth that is waiting for you on the other side of this threshold is not just personal. It is profound. It is the kind of growth that changes not only how you see yourself but how you move through the world. The kind that gives you permission to take up space, to use your voice, to claim the life you have always secretly wanted but never quite believed you deserved. You deserve it, Virgo. You have always deserved it. And now finally you are ready to receive it. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Shift 3. Something is changing in the way you relate to uncertainty, and this shift is one of the most important developments in your entire journey. For most of your life, uncertainty has been the enemy. It has been the thing that kept you up at night, the thing that made you double-check every decision, the thing that turned simple choices into exhausting mental marathons. You craved certainty the way others craved adventure because certainty meant safety, and safety meant control, and control meant that nothing could catch you off guard. But somewhere along the way something shifted. Maybe it was a loss you did not expect. Maybe it was a moment of grace you could not explain. Maybe it was simply the accumulation of years of living, of watching plans unravel, and then watching something better take their place. Whatever it was, it planted a seed inside you. A seed of trust. Not blind trust because you are far too intelligent for that. But a measured, tested, battle-worn trust that says, I do not need to know how this ends in order to begin. That seed has been growing quietly, sending its roots deeper and deeper into the soil of your soul. And now, in this season, it is breaking through the surface. You are beginning to approach uncertainty not as a threat, but as a teacher. Not as something to be conquered, but as something to be navigated with grace and curiosity. This does not mean you have abandoned your love of order. You never will, and you never should, because that love of order is one of your greatest gifts. It means that you have expanded your definition of order to include the beautiful chaos of growth. You are learning that sometimes the most organized thing you can do is surrender to the process. Sometimes the most disciplined thing you can do is let go of the plan. And sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is simply say yes to something you cannot fully understand. This shift in your relationship with uncertainty is opening doors that have been closed for years. Doors you thought were locked forever. Doors that lead to places you once dreamed about but eventually stopped believing were real. They are real, Virgo. And they are opening for you right now, not because you forced them open, but because you finally stopped fighting the key that was always in your hand. The key of trust. And as you walk through these doors, you will find that the landscape on the other side is not as frightening as you imagined. It is vast, yes. It is unfamiliar, yes. But it is also filled with a kind of beauty that you can only appreciate when you have lived long enough to understand what truly matters. The beauty of second chances. The beauty of unexpected joy. The beauty of discovering that the best chapters of your story are not behind you. They are right here, right now, waiting to be written by a wiser, braver, more compassionate version of you. Surrender for. There is a word that has always been difficult for you, and that word is enough. Not because you do not understand its meaning, but because you have spent your entire life believing that whatever you did, whatever you gave, whatever you achieved, it was never quite enough. There was always one more thing to fix, one more detail to perfect, one more standard to meet. And this relentless pursuit of enough became the engine that drove you forward. But it also became the chain that held you back. Because when nothing is ever enough, you can never fully rest. You can never fully celebrate. You can never fully arrive. You are always in transit, always on the way to somewhere better, always just one accomplishment away from the peace you so desperately seek. But Virgo, the readiness you are feeling right now is deeply connected to a revolutionary realization. You are already enough. Not when you lose the weight, not when you finish the project, not when you fix the relationship or organize the closet or figure out the finances. Right now, exactly as you are. With all your imperfections and all your incomplete projects and all your unanswered questions. You are enough. And this is not some hollow affirmation designed to make you feel good for 5 minutes. This is a cosmic truth that the universe has been trying to show you for your entire life. Every struggle you survived was proof of your enoughness. Every kindness you showed was proof. Every time you got back up after being knocked down was proof. Every silent prayer, every quiet act of service, every moment of grace you extended to someone who did not deserve it. All of it was proof that you are not only enough, you are extraordinary. And when you truly embrace this truth, when you let it seep into every cell of your being, something miraculous happens. The restlessness that has been your constant companion begins to quiet. The voice in your head that was always telling you to do more, be more, achieve more. It softens. Not because you stop caring about growth, but because you stop making growth a condition of your worthiness. You begin to grow not because you are trying to become enough, but because you already are enough, and growth is simply what enough does when it is set free. This is the kind of readiness that changes everything. Not because it gives you new skills or new resources or new opportunities, but because it gives you new eyes. Eyes that can finally see what was always there. The beauty that was hiding behind the busyness. The love that was waiting behind the walls you built. The peace that was sitting quietly at the bottom of all your striving, patiently waiting for you to stop searching long enough to find it. You are ready, Virgo. Not because everything is perfect, but because you finally understand that it does not need to be. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Courage 5. Let us talk about courage, because the kind of courage the universe is calling you to right now is not the kind you see in movies. It is not dramatic or loud or accompanied by a swelling soundtrack. It is quiet. It is steady. It is the kind of courage that shows up in the small moments, the everyday decisions, the private battles that no one else will ever know about. It is the courage to say no when everyone expects you to say yes. The courage to walk away from situations that no longer serve you, even when walking away means walking alone. The courage to look at yourself in the mirror and say with absolute conviction, I am worthy of more than this. This kind of courage has always lived inside you, but it has been sleeping, dormant, waiting for exactly this moment to wake up. And now that it is awake, you can feel it changing the way you move through the world. You stand a little taller. You speak a little more clearly. You make decisions with a kind of quiet authority that surprises even you. Because this courage is not about ignoring your fears. You have always been too wise for that. This courage is about acknowledging your fears, looking them straight in the eye, and then choosing to move forward anyway. Not recklessly, not impulsively, but with the calm, deliberate intention of someone who has finally decided that their future matters more than their comfort. And here is what makes this moment so powerful for you, Virgo. You are not a young person standing at the beginning of their journey, filled with naive optimism and untested dreams. You are someone who has lived, really lived, You have tasted both joy and sorrow. You have known both love and loss. You have been broken and rebuilt so many times that you have lost count. And every single one of those experiences has been preparing you for this exact season. The courage you carry now is not raw or unrefined. It is seasoned. It is tempered by decades of experience, softened by years of compassion, sharpened by a lifetime of discernment. It is the kind of courage that only comes to those who have earned it through living. And it is magnificent. So when the universe asks you to take that next step, know that you are not stepping into the unknown. You are stepping into a future that your past has been building toward all along. A future where your wisdom meets your willingness, where your experience meets your expectation, where everything you have learned finally finds its purpose. That future is not some distant dream, Virgo. It is happening right now. And the only thing standing between you and the life you were meant to live is the decision to believe that you are ready. You are ready. You have always been ready. The only thing that changed is that now, finally, beautifully, irreversibly. You know it. Purpose 6. There is a reason you are hearing these words today. Not yesterday, not next week, not 5 years ago. Today. Because the universe does not operate on accident. It does not send messages at random or stir your heart without cause. Everything that is touching you right now, every word that is resonating in the deepest part of your being, is arriving on schedule. Your schedule. The one written in the stars the moment you were born under the sign of Virgo. And that schedule is telling you something beautiful. Your season of growth is not approaching. It is here. It arrived the moment you pressed play on this message, the moment you allowed yourself to be open to something greater than your doubts. And what is waiting for you in this season is unlike anything you have experienced before. It is not just change, Virgo. It is transformation. The kind that rewrites the story of your life from the inside out. The kind that starts in your heart and radiates outward until it touches every relationship, every goal, every dream, every corner of your existence. But here is the part that requires your attention. Transformation is not passive. It does not happen to you. It happens through you. Through your choices, through your commitment, through your willingness to show up every single day and do the work, even when it is hard, even when it is boring, even when the results are not yet visible. You know this. You have always known this. Because if there is one thing Virgo understands, it is the sacred value of consistent effort. You know that the greatest achievements are not born from single moments of brilliance, but from countless moments of quiet dedication. And that is exactly what this season is asking of you. Not a grand gesture, not a dramatic leap of faith, just the simple, powerful, transformative act of showing up, day after day, choice by choice, moment by moment, trusting that each small step is carrying you closer to something extraordinary. And it is, Virgo. Every step you take in this season is planting seeds that will bloom for years to come. Seeds of confidence, seeds of peace, seeds of joy that you thought had been buried too long to ever grow again. But they were not buried. They were planted. And now, in the warm light of your readiness, they are beginning to sprout. So let this moment be the one you look back on as the turning point. Not because anything dramatic happened, but because something quiet and profound shifted inside you. Because you finally gave yourself permission to grow. Not perfectly, not flawlessly, but honestly, bravely, beautifully, in the way that only a Virgo can. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.